Hi, and welcome to Stamp with Ginny. Today I'm going to share with you this lovely watercolor card that we made at our OnStage Houston After Hours event using the Spotlight on Nature stamp set and our water painters. So let me set this aside and I'll show you how to get started. I'm going to start with the stamping on this project, and I'm going to bring in my leaves here and stamp on my watercolor paper. I'm going to do that twice. And then I'm going to bring in my third panel here and stamp the floral image using the Basic Beige also. Now what this does is it allows the lines to disappear as I'm watercoloring by using this light color. So there we go. I've got that done, and I can bring in this small strip here. Next I can bring in my hash stamp and stamp this little strip of cardstock. It picks up quickly and easily with that ink, so you'll want to hold it in place as you stamp. I finished that, and then I'm going to stamp my sentiment. This is a tight fit, so you'll want to be careful. You can cut after if you would prefer, but there we go. I've got that done, and I'm ready to start watercoloring. To watercolor, I like to make a palette on my large clear block. So I'm simply going to tap my ink pad a couple of times here onto the top of my block with my color, and I can move those aside. And I've got this lovely palette that I can use and not have to squeeze the top of my pad. I'm going to bring in my water painter here, remove the cap, and I'm going to load the water onto the brush. I'm going to simply squeeze until I start seeing that water come down the bristles. And then I'm going to add a little bit of water here to my clear block and pick up that ink. I'm going to start on the bottom because as I work my way up, I'll have less color, and that'll allow the darker color to deposit onto the bottom leaves. Now you can reload your water painter easily simply by picking up more color on your clear block. I'm also going to add the stem here, a little bit of color along that. There we go. And of course you can add some shading if you would like, now that you've got the basic color laid in, simply by adding layers and picking up more color. I'll do the second one also. There you go, quick and easy. And of course, to clean your water painters, you're simply going to squeeze and use your paper towel until it runs clear. I'm going to set those aside so they can dry and bring in my floral image here. And once again, I'm going to start with the greenery. I'm going to lay in that lemon lime twist just quickly and easily on my leaves, and then pick up a little bit more and bring in the stems. And as you can see, that line disappears from that ink pad. There we go, I've got that finished. I'm going to bring in my fine tip here, remove the cap, load it, and pick up that color and lay that color in first. Oops, I've got a little too much, so I can remove that by laying it on my paper towel and drying the tip a little bit. This one's a little juicier, and of course you can dab your image if you would like with your paper towel to pick up that excess ink and make it a little lighter. I've got all my pieces here and I'm ready to start assembling. So I'm going to build the sentiment by cutting a banner in the one side of this basic white cardstock strip. And then I'm going to take this little hatch image that I stamped, and I'm going to trim the two ends off like so. And at this point I can adhere that little strip down to the center of my banner. And I'm going to tip it slightly. So there we go. And then I'm going to take my Dear Friend sentiment and add it to the top of that. And I'm going to place that in the center. At this point, I'm going to turn that over, and I'm going to add a little of our Stampin' Seal Plus. This is going to give me a sticky space for my twine here to be layered onto. And I'm going to twist this just in some circles randomly and lay it onto my sentiment panel. I can flip that over and adjust as necessary, but I'm okay with that there, like so. And I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Dimensionals and add these to either end. And I think I'm going to put one in the center also. So both adhesives will hold that in place. While I'm getting ready to put that on, I first need to build my card front. So I am going to flip over these two outer greenery pieces and adhere them to my card front. Remember, if you're using the multi-purpose adhesive, you want to leave enough room so that as you adhere, the glue does not ooze out from the back side. 1/4 inch is always what I try to use. And I've got my two greenery pieces on the outside edge, and I'm going to bring in my floral panel now and adhere that down in the center here. I'm going to drop that a little bit so that the top is got some variance to it. And then I'm going to bring in my sentiment panel and remove the backings and adhere it down. Going to place that like so. So there you go, a quick and easy watercolored card using the Spotlight on Nature stamp set. This stamp set also has a set of coordinating dies, so you can save 10% when you purchase the bundle. And of course, if you'd like any of these products, feel free to stop by my online store. You can get there from my blog, Stamp with Jini. Thanks for joining me.